The following video may contain graphic or disturbing content that is not suitable for all audiences. The events discussed are presented for educational and analytical purposes only. All individuals shown are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Viewer discretion is advised.
Bong. So we've got a lot of new technology in here. So hopefully everything's going to function correctly this go. I did, this is take 2, by the way, of this episode, but this is episode 7 of the Friday Morning Quarterback podcast. Obviously, if you're hopefully watching this episode, you've seen other episodes and you see how things have progressed. And we've hopefully gone bigger and better and, higher quality each time around. So I've got some new hardware. I'm learning. It literally came today, came at like, I don't know, 11 a.m. And I'm just barely figuring out everything. I've got it functioning the way I want it to for this episode, but I'm going to be working on this and increasing it and getting it better and the quality and the sound and everything for future episodes. So bear with me on this one, but hopefully it's good enough to view this go around. Now, this podcast is all about military, law enforcement, and security content, and that could be discussions, that could be breakdowns of videos, that could be news, like whatever, anything that comes out. Now, I do an episode once a week. It's on Friday, obviously, because it's Friday morning quarterback. So I record it on Thursday, release it on Friday morning, and that gives me the whole week to kind of peruse footage and different things, reach out to law enforcement agencies, get additional information if I need it for the episode. If I did this on Monday and the incident happened on the weekend, which a lot of big incidents happen on the weekend, I wouldn't have enough time to do my editing and get my information together and things like that. So I chose Friday. And so thus I am the Friday morning quarterback. And we do topics, discussions, things like that. But I also want to get content matter people. And I hate using that expert word, but I want to bring people into the podcast, whether it's in person here in the studio, I have a little studio, or if it's something virtual, I want to have people come on, and whether that's someone that has experience in law enforcement, military, or security, or, a product or service or something that benefits those people, something like that. I would love to get those people on. And I want to get fans on. I want to get people that are listening and viewing this content, kind of seeing the progression of things, to come in and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. I like what you're doing. I don't like what you're doing. And then watch a clip with me, break it down with me from a civilian standpoint. And I think all that stuff is just great. I want as much point of view as possible. And so that brings us to today. Today is a special episode, very special episode. And that's because we have a guest. We have a guest in studio, and our guest is a current law enforcement officer in an investigative capacity that we won't disclose where and what that capacity is, because we don't want people in trouble. We don't, people at risk, things like that. But we do have in-house, in studio, our very own Mrs. Quarterback. So she's going to join us here. She's going to sit back, get comfortable again. I'm going to take these off because I don't want to get all that glare going on into our camera and have some wackiness going on. But she is going to be joining us here to talk about the topics, the breakdowns, give her side, give her input. Current law enforcement input is amazing. I am retired, so I am out of the loop by a few years. So it's always good to see these types of people come in and be able to add their input, whether it be on an episode or as a comment to, a short clip or a long episode or whatever it is, where they're adding their input. And so she can say hello.
Hello.
Hello. So female voice, all the streamers, the female streamers always get all the attention, right? So maybe we'll make this a thing, and she can she can join us a little bit longer in on future episodes and help boost the numbers a little bit, maybe. So last week we discussed three or broke down three different incidents, and one was a little somber, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But the first one was the whole episode was about kind of action packed, blood pumping, getting your adrenaline going, things like that. And so the first one, we had the officers from Ramsey County. They were in the pursuit of that vehicle. The vehicle had the flat tires. They ended up hitting it. It was facing the wrong way, and then it hit the cars, and then they boxed it in the alley, and it was a whole mayhem, right? And so if you remember that, that was a great video to watch. After that, we watched the Apache Junction officer that got killed, and it started out as a traffic stop. It was initially a 911 call of a road rage where it pointed a gun at somebody, and it turned into kind of a traffic stop, which was weird, and then turned into him walking down the street with a weapon. They go to try and get him to surrender. He turns, randomly fires, hits an officer in the face who later died, and then they ended up shooting him. So, and then the Sandy Springs, I called it House Chaos. House Chaos, if we remember, were the decked out. I mean, they had vests on, they had helmets, they had a shield, they had rifles, they had everything. These guys went into the house after here. I think there was gunshots from the house, is what the initial call was. And so they go in, and when they go in, they get shot at. It was kind of an ambush. It was pretty wild. And one of them got like the very tip of his thumb, hit, which was kind of funny of all the places. And I talked about it on that episode that I too had gotten around that, hit my hand, it hit my knuckle. It hurt. Didn't pierce anything. Didn't cause any damage. I have no idea how. I know I'm not Superman because I have to pay so much money to fly to different states. You're aware I am not Superman either, but I don't know how.
You're my Superman.
Ah, that's cheeseball. We're gonna clip that one and probably post that as well. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and go to our first incident, our first little breakdown. This is the Houston Police Department. This is an officer that is in the area, locates a stolen vehicle. I think it's for a Family Dollar. It's in front of, and it gets a little wacky. And we're gonna pause, start, do our thing that we normally do, and the two of us are gonna kind of add our input as we see fit. But it gets a little crazy. Family Dollar. So already a little weird, because you've got officer that has identified this as a stolen vehicle and then rushes the door alone, solo, to pull this person out of the vehicle. And you
I want to jump in and beat you to the punch. We love felony stops. Let's felony stop this thing.
So, I mean, you can attest it is not normal. I'm not going to say it's wrong. Again, we're not going to ever say anything is wrong here. We're not going to hit on policies and procedures and training and how other officers are wrong and they should be known this way. We're going to talk about what can be done different, or what we prefer. Me as a retired person, her as kind of a current, but you can attest to the fact that the common thought process now, I mean, I have mine a couple of years back when I got out, but the common thought process now is to kind of hold back, do that felony stop.
Time and distance.
Yeah. Or order them out, try to get them to surrender. You've got him in a relatively decent spot. He's kind of stuck in this little parking spot. Can he drive forward and get out of there? Probably. But you're going to see what happens when he does try to pull him out.
Let me your hands. Don't move. Do not move. Do you understand? Do not move. Do you understand?
Man, why you want to do?
Step
What
out.
you want?
Step out. Step out.
For, man?
Because you get hit a stolen vehicle. Turn the vehicle off.
What you tripping for, man?
So already he's disheveled. He's in front of Family Dollar, which is not, a very expensive location. I'm not saying anything about him other than the fact that, to me, he sounds like he could be intoxicated. He sounds like he could be on drugs. He could be something.
There's clearly something going on, and I don't know. I wouldn't without checking that back seat too. Anybody could be in that back seat and you have your gun out and grabbing distance from both him and, maybe somebody's back there. And that I'm watching my smartwatch right now to see how much my heart rate increases during this.
Yeah.
Because it's already going up.
It's going to go up. It's going to go up from this one. I personally view all these clips and I edit and I do a bunch of stuff with these clips so that I can show them. I very briefly showed her these clips. And so you're going to get the real reaction, I think, from her. But yeah, that is a good point. Here you have he looks like he's got a Smith & Wesson. He's got it really close to the suspect. The suspect's saying, oh, what's going on, man? What? It doesn't sound right. It sounds like somebody that could be on drugs. That's definitely synonymous with stolen vehicles.
And what's that in his pocket?
Yeah, I don't know. Something sticking out of there. I thought maybe that was his belt or something that was sticking up. But who knows?
Oh, yeah.
So backs up, rams the police car.
Stop. Stop.
So it's already happening, huh? You have a heart attack by the time we're done with this episode?
Maybe.
The three of them get pretty wild. I'm at 83.
I'm at 66. I was at 56.
Oh. Well, I'm moving a lot more, so maybe it's more on me. But anyway, so he's rammed the car. He's continuing to try to go in reverse because you can hear him revving and trying to mess with the gears and try to get out of there. It's generally not a great place to be where you're reaching into a suspect's vehicle. And so we've got that going on. He definitely wants this guy under arrest. But then you get a third party female voice that shows up, and then she's going to get involved.
Stop. 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 What happened? Stop. 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 Stop.
Yeah.
Is that her taser or his taser?
That is not her taser. That is going to be officer's taser that apparently took flight with the body camera because the body camera is off of him too. So
yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that happens all the time in like every use of force that used to happen to me.
But I've never seen the taser handoff happen.
No,
that's a new tactic for me.
And she's trying to give it back. She does say numerous times, here, sir, trying to get his attention. Now, what's going to happen eventually is he's going to want to use that taser. He's wrestling, he's fighting, actively fighting a resisting person. And he's going to want to use that taser and he doesn't have it. And she still does. And he's going to be asking her for the taser back, which she is not going to give him.
Angry Birds.
Give me that.
So there he is. He's asking, ma'am, give me that. Give me that. He's asking for that taser back.
Give me the taser. Man, give me a taser. 24.
All right. And so now, judging by the angle of the video, it looks like they've toppled. So now suspect is on top and officer is on the bottom. Lady still has the taser, hasn't given it back to him. And it sounded like another female was close. We're going to hear another male's voice, I think, later in the clip. At least you do in the original that I edited. And so they may just be bystanders coming to kind of intervene as one does. Yeah.
I mean, I have no words right now.
Yeah. So what we heard there was officer pulled his gun, fired around. Now, we've talked on the podcast on the channel about, what do? You go to OC, you go to taser, you go to this, you go to that, and nothing's working. Do you have to, in fear of your life, have to go to your firearm? And so in this case, he doesn't have his taser. Someone else has his taser. And so what do you do? And at this point, the guy is on top of the officer. He hasn't fled. He's not leaving the scene. He's still actively fighting the officer for whatever that reason is, maybe to get his gun. We can't tell from the video, but ultimately the officer has to fire, and he puts one round into the suspect.
Shot fired! Oh my God! Shot fired! Shot fired! Shot fired! Back up. Don't move. Do it, Sam. Sir, don't move. Ma'am, stay over here. Stay over here. Stay over here.
So you can hear the people in the background, the male, hey, stay over here, don't get involved. Don't get involved.
Oh my God! Sir, stay down. 24, 20. Stay down, sir. Sir, don't move. Don't move. Stay down. Shots fired. Shots fired. Stay down. Stay down.
So the guy is telling which bystanders that get involved a lot, and they seem to throw their 2 cents and their arms and their legs and everything into helping suspects. In this case, he's trying to tell the guy, stay down, stay on the ground, listen to the police, stop fighting, stop doing what you're doing. You probably witnessed.
I think overall this cop got really lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the suspect's lady with his taser and she doesn't use it on him, which honestly, I was expecting that to happen. And then you have these bystanders that are trying to prevent this from coming even more. And I think that's a rarity right now.
Right. Yep. Exactly. I mean, she could have tased him in the back, in the neck, the head, whatever she could get a piece of, and maybe that gun could have got taken away from him by the suspect. It could have turned into something far worse for the officer.
Give him your hand. Just give him your 24. MLK storm. Shots fired. I need a unit. I need HFD. I'm okay. Suspect is shot. One time. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. Whatever you do, just give him your hand. Stop.
Yeah, I like this this bystander. Just give him your hand. Stop fighting. Just do whatever. We're gonna see. It's gonna go just a little bit longer, and then I had to cut it because it starts showing blood, and social media is dumb and lame that way that it starts blocking content. And so I've edited that out, and then we're gonna get a funny body camera view that we're gonna discuss here in just a minute.
Please! I'm not trying to help you, son. I heard this. No, you weren't. I kept trying to give you my taser. You wouldn't give it to me. I'm lost. Oh, my God. Man, just back up. Oh, Lord. Help me, Jesus.
And here's the wild part about this is when I viewed it the first time, a person that jumps in the middle of things is always a problem. It's always going to agitate or make something worse. And in this case, what could have been simple of an arrest of somebody in a possession of a stolen vehicle, she got in the middle of it, distracted, did all these things that took away from the officer and the suspect. And then it became a use of force and a shooting. If she would have kept her nose out of it, she had to have known this guy. I don't think she ever says what he was to her, but if she had just shut the hell up and stayed out of it, like most people should in any law enforcement encounter like this, then this may not have gone this way.
I would say, especially if an officer, already has his gun out and you're walking up to that situation, that is putting yourself in harm's way and escalating something unnecessarily.
Yeah, the only way I could even think of getting involved in a situation like that, you have an officer, maybe he's injured, he's got his gun out, he's pointing at somebody else. I may jump in and say, hey, look, I will help you. I am armed. I can do this, or I can, help you. Or, if he's down and he's unable to pick up his gun or whatever, hey, I'm going to grab your gun. I'm going to use it, whatever it is. That's really the only time I could see wanting to get involved in anything armed, is to really protect the officer. And I can't say that's ever happened in my life.
24, yeah. I'm at the corner of East Storm and MLK. I got one shot. I'm fine. I got one suspect down though.
I don't know if he just said I'm a security officer. Obviously, he's not dressed like one, so he's not one right now. But I think that guy just said he's a security officer.
Give me your hands. I'm okay, but I'm gonna need units. Oh, baby, please stay with me, please. Please. Stay with me.
All right, so chaos ensues. Guy's down. You have officer here by himself. Okay, so the initial stop, contact, everything was done with one officer. He had no backup, no cover. So here's cover officer arrives. I don't badmouth cops very often. I'm going to say that this is a wacky video because you just had an officer involved in a shooting. You don't know that he's really okay. He says he's okay on the radio. But this officer arrives and then just kind of saunters up to the scene as if he's just having a burrito from the food truck or something. This is wacky. And I'm going to stop there because then it gets in the blood territory and then we're going to get in trouble. But I just feel that was very strange.
I feel like he took the time to park far away.
Really far away.
And then I don't know any officer that wouldn't have just ran up instead of walking up with their cup of coffee.
Right. Yeah. And if he used his vehicle to block the entrance to the parking lot, I get that or whatever. But yeah, I've responded to several officer involved shootings and I sprinted, even if there was 8 cops there, 10 cops there, I ran. And so anyway, this incident is going to kind of end a little bit after this. There's going to be some blood, a bunch of, CPR and a bunch of things going on. He gets shot in the shoulder. I don't know if it was straight or sideways through his shoulder, but must have hit something vital. He doesn't bleed a lot. There's not a lot of, it's not an artery. Nothing happens that he bleeds out, at least externally, but something must have been penetrated because he does not really regain consciousness and then ultimately dies. And so pretty little wild, I don't know, incident. Like, what are your thoughts on what you saw there?
I mean, to me, maybe the cop got excited. Maybe it was his first stolen car. It didn't look like there were a lot of buildings around, so maybe it's more of a rural part of Houston, and cover was going to be far away. Maybe he knew this guy from a previous incident earlier in the day, like an eluding or something, and that's why he approached it the way he did. But that was a lot to unpack in that video.
And you're right. Maybe there's more to the story. Context is everything, and we only get. I mean, I got a 30-minute clip on this thing, and I've shortened it down to like a 4-minute clip. So you're getting even less context than I had, and then the context that we had or I had, there might be more. There might be some missing. So, yeah, there may be more to this. It's Houston. You would assume a big department like that, they're probably going to get lots of cover, and ultimately at the end of the clip that I got to see, there are probably 8, 9, 10 officers that show up, and so he does get cover. I'm just not sure on the need or necessity to go as fast as he did straight to the door, pin the vehicle. Sure. He turns his lights on, but I'm not really clear on the reasoning behind opening the door. And I'm not even going to say that I've never done that. I've definitely done that, but there were other extenuating circumstances where I needed to really jump on this person fast.
And I think it's important as current law enforcement, and I've done it, I've seen other people do it. And, you go on these scenes and you make contact before you should have. And you forget that cover might be 5 minutes away, maybe 10 minutes away. So I think creating that time and space and just slowing yourself down, it just helps everybody in this situation.
Right. And so, I mean, you have helicopters and drones and GPS and stop sticks and all these different things nowadays. I don't know what Houston has. I probably get in my feed 2 or 3 Houston incidents, critical incidents a day. So there's clearly a lot going on in that city. Um, hey, this is how they do things. I've never seen any of their other videos like this, but maybe it's certain circumstances that led to this that we're unaware of. So pretty wacky little clip. Obviously, I look at it from the legal standpoint also, as a third party. I get to use my 2020 vision, my Friday morning quarterbacking. And is he able to shoot this person? Can he justify being in fear for his life? I think so. I mean, you've got a fight going on, which ultimately ends up him on the bottom, suspect on top. Suspect is not running away. He is actively fighting. I don't know what for. I don't know if he's going for the gun or what.
Maybe he pulled the gun and maybe that's why it went off, or that's why
Yeah.
he shot it.
I don't know. I don't know what the thought process there is, but I can tell you that based on what I saw, I think it's probably reasonable to say he was at least in fear for his life or his safety at that point. So we're going to go to clip number 2. Clip number 2 is going to come out of Jacksonville. This is Florida, Jacksonville. This is going to be a disturbance between a male and female. Male and female, it kind of comes out as male is the aggressor, and then she's the aggressor, and then he's the aggressor. And it kind of goes back and forth. I've cut out a lot of content. There's like this much, and you're going to see this much, literally, 3-4 minutes of it. But what happens is it's a disturbance, and I guess they had a miscarriage or something at some point, which led to the fight today. The male tries to get in a car to leave. Female jumps on the hood, smashes the windshield, and does a bunch of things. And then suspect at some point pulls a firearm and is waving that around. And you're going to see some of the witnesses that kind of called in and speak to law enforcement.
You called?
Yeah,
What's
I was
going
right
on?
there, walking to the gym. There's some dude that peeled out of here like really fast. So comes back, stops right there, pulls out his gun, walks towards the lady that's in the garage. She's screaming on top of her lungs with her daughter, and he starts yelling at her, pulling the gun. So then I ran to the gym, told everybody to hide. I come back, and either he's gone or the car's in the garage, and they're both upstairs.
All right, what did you see?
So that's my apartment right up there on the 3rd floor. I had just walked down to go for a walk with my girlfriend and our puppy. We came right across here. Pretty much as we got to this grass right here, all of a sudden we heard like what the fuck you. We turned around, that was right behind us, that garage right there, not the one that's open, but I can't remember. I think it's the middle one.
All right.
Looked like a black gray, some kind of dark Tesla, and there was a woman. The moment that I turned around, I was trying to rush my girlfriend over to those bushes to get away from what was happening. She was like double fist slamming down on the hood of the car. I don't know. I didn't see any altercation prior to that. I don't know how it started.
Okay.
And then the guy started revving and trying to come out of his garage, and she was literally on the hood. Like,
So we have a lot here. You have 2 great witnesses, which is rare, a witness to come forward and give you a bunch of information, let alone 2 of them. And so you have 2 aggressors ultimately kind of identified here. Male with the gun, that's bad. Female getting on the car, smashing the car, doing all these things, that's bad. In some states, domestic violence, which is what this starts to sound like, is that there's some sort of couple. And in domestic violence, you have to, at least in our state, kind of identify the aggressor. And in this case, there's 2 potentially. And so it exists, but it doesn't always happen, is you could do a dual arrest and arrest both people. It just depends on the circumstances. And, let's say male punches female in the face, female leaves, but then comes back and then punches him in the face.
Yep.
Now you've got 2 aggressors, 2 people that otherwise had committed a crime that could have split and could have separated, and there not have been that.
Right. They chose to reengage.
They chose to reengage. And what this kind of sounds like is whether the gun came out first or the car incident happened, whatever came first, they both kind of reengaged each other in something. And so you're going to get her side of the story a little bit, very short. She goes on forever, and I had to cut out a bunch because it was like, well, I don't really know what happened. And it's like, come on, the whole neighborhood knows what happened. The whole neighborhood called.
Well, and especially having that context from two great witnesses before you make contact with her, that is extremely rare. Usually you get that information just in bits and pieces on your way there, sometimes over the phone, and like a partial story after you've talked to people when you're doing that canvas. So this is, I mean, a lot more information than you normally have.
Right. And I mean, I've gone to calls before. It's loud noise disturbance, somebody screaming and yelling. That's it. You don't know who they are, where it's coming from, who's, what's involved, vehicles or people. You have no descriptions of anybody. And in here, you've got some great descriptions. They pointed out the exact house of where this occurred, the exact people that are involved. And then she interjects here in a second and says, hey, I'm the one that was involved in this. And then she gives her side of the story.
She got up on the car, and he full on.
All right. So what happened tonight?
Nothing. We just got into a little
Okay,
altercation.
something happened tonight, so it's not nothing. What?
We just got into a little altercation.
Who's we?
Me and my husband.
Okay.
Okay.
What kind of altercation?
He was trying to leave, and I didn't want him to leave. And I sat on the car, and I slid into it when he drove off. And I was just chasing him and then the dog.
So she jumps on the car to prevent him from leaving, which could be grounds for some charges. Depends on, if she's physically able, which doesn't sound like. It sounds like
Right.
she jumps on the car and then he drove away and then she probably hit it. Whether or not she double fisted smash, like the witness said, and messed something up, or she just fell into it, like she says. Her statement's kind of wacky. And that was all her interview that I cut out is a lot of this wishy-washy, not really helpful information. What we're going to see now, though, is officers have finished talking to everybody. They've talked to each other. They're trying to figure out kind of what they want to do. And suspect comes out between these two vehicles that you see kind of at the top of the screen here. And they go to make contact with
I
him.
think so.
And it goes south fast.
All right. All right.
Carter is the dead child.
All right.
We just were debriefing.
I understand that.
Do you have any weapons on you?
Excuse me?
Do you have any weapons on you?
Why are you rolling up on me?
Hey, seriously!
Get down!
Oh,
Did your heart rate go up?
I'm looking.
I'm at
The
80,
last one got it up to 74.
I'm at 82. So we're going to see some more here. I don't want to kind of ruin what actually occurred, but you had one gunshot and then you had several gunshots.
This is a tough situation. I feel for these officers going up to this because you already have a domestic violence. You already know that a weapon at some point was involved. And then you see this guy from a distance. And what are your options? You don't want him to go back into that garage or jump in the car and come at you. So,
Right. So he's said to have a firearm. And then during the kind of clips I cut out, the wife says that they have firearms in the
Yeah.
house. And so confirming that there are weapons, but that he doesn't have one on him. Now we're going to see that that's actually not true in some of these clips. Now we're going to see something very similar to the last video, and that's the third party kind of throwing themselves in the middle of things. So the officer's just fired. She jumps right in the middle.
Ma'am, get back! Get back! Ma'am. Ma'am, please. Please.
Get her out of there.
yeah.
Hey, I'll hold coverage. Detain her.
Hey, get off of him! Get off of him! Just, hey! Ma'am.
Jeez.
Okay, we'll deal with that. Just give me a second. Deep breath.
Heart rate's going.
Yeah.
Ma'am, get out of the way. I will, we will help.
my baby!
We will. Just sit down. Sit down. Deep breath. Sit down and breathe.
So
Got
we're gonna
her
get-
in a police car already. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know how far away their cop cars are. They could be a ways away that they parked and walked. But this is someone you want to definitely get into a vehicle, and you may already have charges for. You could essentially put her in handcuffs right now. Even though she is the victim, she kind of sounded wacky too, that there could be charges. And so it wouldn't be unreasonable to cuff her and detain her right now. Maybe get her to sit down while she's in handcuffs. She'd be less likely to interfere with kind of what's going on. And so we're going to get the other point of view from the other body camera that shows the approach and the big surprise to this incident.
Ma'am, I get you. Just sit down and breathe. This guy right here? Yeah, I think so.
So here's the other body camera.
I'm just curious because there's a lot of silence. So
We just were debriefing.
I understand that.
Do you have any weapons on you?
Excuse me?
Do you have any weapons on you?
Why are you rolling up on me?
So from the other view, I don't think we heard, at least I didn't really recognize he's reaching.
Right.
And we're going to see exactly what that means at the end of this portion of the clip.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Juliet 660 shots fired.
What are you talking about, lady? Get out of there. And I found it wacky and kind of funny. Not funny, haha, but funny that she sees this guy get killed or shot. She doesn't know he's killed yet. He is the husband.
Mhm.
And the first thing, oh my God, what'd you guys do? Runs around to the car. And then she's like, I need to go get my kid inside.
Right.
Like, that's a weird thing to just suddenly jump to. Like, I need to go inside and hang out with my kid. I definitely would not let her around any kid right about now and let her back inside. But
All right, send us some units. We're
let's finish
77.
out this clip.
Hey, I'll hold cover. Detain her.
Listen to her. Go get her.
Detain
Ma'am,
her.
get back.
Now, this could have ended badly. We're
Juliet
going to talk
660,
about why here in a
suspect
second.
down. We're 77. We're trying to detain the victim.
So here is the officer's body camera, and it's slowed down and highlighted that he reaches for a gun. And
I mean, and
so-
that he saw him reach for that
right
is
we saw him reach as he was moving up on him.
wild.
And I think this is right, the first officer's body cam from this angle. But yeah, he recognized he's reaching for something. That guy, I mean, popped his shirt up pretty quick from a concealed carry standpoint. That was pretty damn fast. So he grabs this gun, the gun he didn't have, by the way. And what ensues and what they actually figured out, so autopsies and all things happen afterwards in the investigation, the officers all carry 9mm. The bullet that entered suspect's brain was a 40 caliber.
Hmm.
And the 40 caliber just so happened to be this gun here.
Hmm.
And so what I'm assuming happened, I don't know that he was suicidal in the sense that he shot himself. I don't know, but maybe he drew it and in the scuffle tried to point it up and shot himself
Right.
instead of the officer. But they do the investigation and figure out that this gun likely fired the 40 caliber round that hit him. And then the officers obviously finished up, but I think he was already done because you can see him slump over kind of into the car, wasn't moving, wasn't doing anything as they were firing. He was still armed, obviously still had the gun. Now he goes down. The investigators recover this firearm here. They recover a magazine, I think a holster on him. He is transported and they find another gun on him. I don't have the photos of that stuff, but
I like that he didn't like drop his beer or anything. Like he's like holding it and just
he
pulls that gun. Like
he does
that.
still have the beer in his hand. I mean, you gotta have your beer. You can't let it spill.
Well, for the officers to recognize that even with that obstacle of that, I mean, good on them. 'Cause
Yeah.
not a lot would. And domestic violence, it's probably, I mean, it's the most dangerous call you can go on. There's so many factors and so many raised emotions. Like I said, that is a tough one from beginning to end.
And like I said a little bit ago, we were going to talk about. So she runs around the car and goes back to kind of where he's at on the ground. If she would have picked up his gun,
Yeah.
because
Or his other gun he had on
or
him.
his other gun, she's upset with the officers because of what they just did. That could have then turned into another shooting.
Mhm.
And so you've really got to maintain control. And we saw in both this one, the previous one, and then we're about to see it in the third video clip. You've really got to maintain control of these people.
Yeah.
And it's very important that you have the overall, I don't want to say mind's eye, but the ability to see the larger picture of what's going on. don't just focus on this, but be able to, okay, I got people over here. I got this. I watched a video that I'd love to share on the channel and maybe in a future episode. They do a felony stop. They get into a pursuit. They do a felony stop on this thing. And literally 40 people come up, all recording, and get into the middle of the felony stop. And they're all screaming and yelling and doing all these things. There's absolute lack of scene control. And so I'm not going to say these officers did horrible. They're dealing with this guy. They believe, I assume he believes the guy fired because it wasn't his gun that fired.
Right.
He fired after. So they're dealing with the threat. They're dealing with all of that. The other officer's trying to get on the radio, air that information. And then idiot is running around the car, kind of throwing herself in the middle of it. So there's two people and they can only do so much.
Well, and I think they did a good job with what they had. The only thing I mean, would have done different from the get-go was detaining her, because if her husband's or boyfriend or whoever he was, has already, he already had a gun out.
Right.
They're already in a fight. Then you're kind of putting her in protective custody at that moment too, until you figure out what's going on.
Right. And like I said earlier, is you may even have charges.
Right.
And so
Exactly.
based on the information you guys talked about, maybe you throw her in your police car. Maybe you don't handcuff her and you just throw her in the back seat as kind of detaining her or something like that. That is possible. I don't want to say I had several instances where I grabbed somebody, witness, victim, whatever it is. Hey, sit in my car, sit in the back seat. Let me go deal with this. Lock the cage so they
Right.
can't get through, and
Well, we figure
go
out
deal
what's
with it.
going on.
Right. I don't think that's unreasonable.
No.
So I like to, and in the future, I want to have conversations. And so I think this is a good opportunity with the guest that I have to, you guys can't see her smiling over there, but the guest that I have now to have a conversation about something that, something I think strongly about. And I don't want information from her that is going to be, I'll just reemphasize, kind of like against policy, against, whatever. Don't give any information in that regard that's going to get anybody in trouble. But I want to talk about cooperation, and specifically when you're stopped. And I did a whole video of this. I did like a 20-minute video, and then I was like, it's too long. So then I did a 10-minute video, and it was too long. And I tried to do a 5-minute video, and it just wasn't happening. And so I gave up on it. I deleted the different versions that I did. And I figured I'd just talk about it on here. I'd give it, 5 to 10 minutes and just discuss it real quick. And so when you're stopped by law enforcement's going to contact you. Hey, driver's license, registration, proof of insurance. This is why I stopped you, whatever it is. There may be other reasons why they stopped you. They may have some history on you. They may believe something about you. Maybe you left a house that's known for drugs and prostitution. You pulled away from somebody on a main thoroughfare that they know is, big on prostitution or whatever. They may have reasons to contact you. They may have reasons that they want to get into your vehicle. Now, here's the thing. I've been stopped by police. I don't think I've ever had to have my car searched because generally speaking, when I get stopped, I'm cooperative. I didn't do anything wacky. It was probably speeding. It was probably something minor. So it's been fine. But if an officer says, hey, I'd like to search your vehicle, one of two things happens. And I'm not going to give anybody legal advice. Okay. Never do that on the podcast. Never do it on the channel. It's never going to happen. But I'm going to say you have one of two options. You say yes or no. If you say yes and you have nothing in the vehicle, you're fine. What do you have to worry about? And what we're seeing right now is we're seeing this kind of anti-police, this kind of street side lawyer. I know my rights. I know that, whatever. We're seeing this attitude, and it's leading to conflict. It's leading to problems. It's leading to even officer involved shootings. And if you don't have anything to hide, why wouldn't you just say, yeah, go ahead. Let's make it quick. I got to be somewhere. You got 5-10 minutes. Let's go. And they go in, nothing, and they leave. Or you say no. And if you say no, one of two things happens when you say no. They say, okay, I got nothing, and you're going to be on your way. Maybe you'll be on your way with a ticket because you're kind of a dick or whatever. And they were like, fine, you're not, my traffic stop's not going to kind of change your behavior. So now here's your ticket. And you were kind of a dick, you weren't cooperative, whatever it is, here's your ticket. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe they have reasons and they're going to go get maybe a drug dog. And so the drug dog's going to run around the car and start sniffing it and decide, hey, there's probable cause now to search this car, and they're going to go in. So you have something and you don't let them search, they may still end up searching anyway.
Right.
You may even have probable cause before the stop, because I've done tons of stops for DEA, different agencies where the officers, the agents, whatever it is, say, hey, we witnessed these guys do this.
We need you to stop that car.
Go stop that car, go search that car. And ultimately we can, because we had the probable cause to do that. And by an extension of someone else, another law enforcement officer. So that stuff may still happen. You may still get searched. So what I'm saying for me, my best interest is to allow a search. If I say no, just because it's my right to say no, it may prolong what's going on. And so you may be able to attest to the fact that a simple traffic stop that is 5 minutes, that is, let me have your information, take information, run information. They are valid. They have valid insurance, registration. Hey, can I check in your vehicle? They look, nothing there. They're on their way.
Right.
Or they don't cooperate in any regard, maybe even not giving driver's license, registration, insurance because they know their rights.
Traveler.
Or a traveler, those freaking clowns. We're going to do an episode on those guys one of these days. We're going to do all breakdowns of these numbskulls. But the it might lead to more. It might lead to 30, 40, 45 minutes. You got to make a traffic stop reasonable. But if you can say it's reasonable, it takes 30 minutes for a drug dog to come from across the county or from the city or whatever it is, that may be reasonable in your area. And so, I don't know, can you add input to cooperativeness and what it leads to, and without giving legal advice, obviously, but
right.
What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, nobody wants to be on that traffic stop longer than necessary, because like the previous video, domestic violence, traffic stops are up there in the danger level too. So you want to get in and out of there. I was pulled over when I was 20 by state troopers on the highway. They said I was speeding. That doesn't seem like something I would do.
Right. Yeah, right. Okay.
And when they pulled me over in my little like 94 Ford Tempo, he told me he was just out of training. He had his mentor officer with him still, but this was his first like actual real search by himself. So he asked me, if he could search my car. And I didn't have anything to hide. So I said, sure. So he sat me on the curb and took about 10 minutes. He went through my car. He did comment because Mr. Quarterback and I had recently got engaged, and I went wedding dress shopping, and he told me, hey, I liked that first option in that photo book. I was like, that is the one I was going to go with. Thank you for your input, sir.
Thank you for confirming.
And I was off with a verbal warning, and the whole thing took 10 minutes. I'm sure if I was this typical entitled 20-year-old where I'm like, fuck you. You just want to look at the underwear in my hamper or whatever, because I was on my way back to college and it was clearly that, then I'm sure I probably would have gotten some hanky ticket for probably 15 or so over, which again, does not sound like something I would do.
It is. It is. It's true. Yeah. So I'm a firm believer in cooperation, and we've talked on the podcast and on the channel with the shorter clips about, protesting, and, they tell you time to disperse. And so you need to cooperate. Like, it's not even an option at that point. In that kind of circumstance, it is quite legal. It is quite literally illegal to not disperse. Once they give that lawful order and you refuse, it becomes an arrestable offense. And so now in a traffic stop where you do have the right to say, no, I don't want you to search. and you absolutely can do that. And I recommend, doing the things that you believe are in your best interest. I am just going to say that, in my opinion, cooperation goes a long way. And I'll leave it at that, but I'm just saying that, whether it's, hauling ass, weaving in and out of traffic, whether it's failing to stop for a stop sign, whether it's taillights out, whatever it is, when you cooperate, you are kind of giving the impression that you are sorry that it happened and you take responsibility and things like that. Generally speaking, you may be able to attest to this, but generally speaking, officers tend to be nicer in terms of giving warnings, giving tickets that aren't outrageous tickets, aren't, going after and towing your vehicle and things like that. It's not, and I'm not saying they do to like retribution. That's not what they're not allowed to do that in most cases.
A lot of times energy matches energy,
Sure.
If you come at me at 1,000,000 miles an hour with just, fuck yous, I hope you die, pig, whatever, then that sets kind of the tone.
Right.
But I'm not, I didn't become a police officer to write people speeding tickets or whatever. I became a police officer to help people in maybe changing behavior. If somebody driving like ass, maybe that's what changes the person, and if I can give somebody a warning, perfect.
Yep. And we've talked about it on the podcast and on the channel before. If they pull you over, they want to change your behavior. That's it. And it's not about monetary gain. Officers don't see money from these tickets. They don't get any extra bonuses.
No toasters.
Yeah.
We don't win toasters.
No toasters, no chocolate bars, no whatever. It quite literally is a curbing of a behavior because they don't want to go to the crash, the fatal crash, the SBI crash, whatever it is, down the road with kids and all sorts of other innocent people, because these people are driving like ass. So we're going to move on.
All right.
Incident number 3. Get your blood up.
Oh boy. Let's see what I'm back down to.
I am quite high today. 85.
Mine's come back down to 64.
Oh, it's about to go back up. So we are going.
You just save like all of these for Mrs. Quarterback. Like, let's get all the screaming.
These are some good ones. There's a lot of screaming in these 3 clips. This one is going to be out of Brentwood police. They're going to be making a traffic stop. The initial officer for swerving, and you're going to hear all this in the traffic stop. But during kind of the contact, another officer looks in, sees some marijuana. In this area, marijuana is illegal apparently, so it leads to, hey, can we search the vehicle? Hey, again, cooperation is key, right? Now, in this case, he has something he shouldn't have. Again, if you cooperate and you don't fight, you don't run, you don't do whatever, you say, yep, I wasn't supposed to have that. Here, lock me up, whatever. Nothing's going to happen to you, physically, right? But in this case, something does happen.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, sir. Do you have your insurance and registration with you? Where are you coming from, my man?
The hospital. I just left my girl and her mother and grandmother there.
Okay. From Sutter or Kaiser?
Yes, sir.
From where?
Kaiser.
Okay.
That's Kaiser right down the street.
Yeah. Where are you headed to now, man?
I'm going home, back to Tracy, champ.
Back to Tracy?
Yes, sir.
You got insurance, man?
Yes, sir, I do. I don't have the card with me, though. But
You got like a picture of it on your phone or something like that?
No, I do not.
You don't?
No, I do
Okay.
not.
And you say you live in Tracy?
I state my registered address is in Stockton.
Looks like you've got officer number 2 there and the other one over there. So they're now looking and peeking and seeing things inside the vehicle. They don't see something that we're going to see later, but he is going to ultimately let them search.
But I stay in Tracy with my fiance.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You on a probation, parole?
Not at all.
Nothing like that?
Not at all.
Any alcohol tonight, man?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Nothing.
So the reason I stopped you, you're kind of swerving.
Yeah, because I didn't know who was behind me. It was just blacked out, so I'm like, who the hell is following me like that?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All
I'm
right.
very paranoid like that.
Fair enough. All right, man. Take your registration. Hang on to that for me.
Thank you.
I'll be right back. Just stay in the car, okay?
Yes, sir.
Like this whole thing is going to go 0 to 100 fast. And it's just very strange that you see the officer. He's not being a dick. He's being very pleasant. He's,
He's being pretty jovial and cooperative right now.
This is a nothing deal, and it's going to turn into so much more.
I haven't broken any laws.
Okay.
I'm not
He's now
smoking
returned.
marijuana. I'm not under
Okay.
the influence.
I also want to make sure that you're okay to drive, right? Because you were swerving. I just want to make sure you haven't smoked any marijuana or anything like that before you were driving. Okay. I want to make sure of that, though.
Okay, I will step out, but I'm not going to allow you guys to search my vehicle. You can take the marijuana. I haven't done anything to
All right.
have y'all search my vehicle.
I'm going to have you hop out real quick, okay? Go ahead and hop out.
I don't like the look in the back seat.
Yeah, kind of eyeing around, looking all over the place. He's already said that there's marijuana in the vehicle. He's confirmed that. The original kind of observation by the officer, they saw the marijuana. They saw it. He said it's there. That we kind of lost that in the clip in the context, but he's confirmed it. He says the officer can have it. He doesn't want the officer to search, but he's allowing him to search to get the marijuana, which is a little wacky. That doesn't happen very often. Hey, you can search, but you can only get this one thing because he doesn't want the officers to find the other thing.
Just when you hop out, man, face your car and put your hands on the back of your head for me, okay? I'm just going to pat you down for weapons. I'm going to pat you down for weapons. That's how I get everybody out of the car.
Very
It's just
standard.
safer that way. Rather than you digging around with your hands and stuff.
I'm not digging around with nothing.
I'm not saying you
I'm
are.
not doing nothing.
I'm not saying you are. That's just how I get everybody out of the car. It's safer for me and my partners, right? And it's safer for you, right? All right, man. I appreciate it.
And
I
again,
appreciate
he's
it.
still being
Trust me.
cooperative.
Right.
Face your car.
Yes, sir.
Interlace your fingers on the back of your head
I mean,
for me.
it's a little weird, but
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have you walk back to the trunk for me, okay?
Just slide over this way.
Yeah, just slide this way. That's all.
not in the doorway.
That's all. Keep going a little bit. Keep going a little bit. Perfect, man. Widen your stance a little bit for me. You're a little taller than me. Appreciate it.
all very standard. I'm going to check people for weapons when I take them out of a car.
So you're just trying to go to Tracy, right?
Yes, sir.
Just a pat
I'll get you out
down.
of here, man. I'll
He's
get you
not
out of here.
searching them.
Trust me, I'm not trying to harass people. I'm not trying to go through your shit. Nothing like that, man. Okay? It's not what I'm in the business of. Okay? Okay. Just relax. Have a seat in my car right there. Okay? Or on my car right there, just where the lights are on at. Okay. You said just the jar, right?
Just the jar.
Okay.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Let me see that.
They found.
Oh,
Yeah. It's like a Toys R Us rifle. It looks wacky. Let's see if we can get a better view of it. There we go.
Mhm.
So that does not look like your standard AR kind of platform rifle. You're missing buttstock. You've got kind of like a weird, I don't know what the hell that is on the front. Big old magazine, which he verifies is real. He takes the magazine out and there's ammo in it. So there's no kind of iron sights. There's no scope on this thing or anything. So it's kind of a wacky little weapon.
yeah.
Most people don't carry that and it looks weird. It looks kind of like a toy.
Turn around.
So at this point, I don't know what the laws are in this state and in this kind of agency's jurisdiction or whatever. If you can't have a rifle in your car, maybe that's why they are ultimately going to put him in handcuffs. I don't know. Maybe he ran his criminal history. This guy is a previous offender, so he's not supposed to have a weapon anyway. We find that out later, but in the context footage that I've cut out. But maybe that's why.
And just in the Friday quarterbacking, walking up to the guy, you're still several feet away and saying, put your hands behind your back. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's already been kind of, I don't want to say uncooperative. He's been cooperative, but he's, hey, I need you to step out of the vehicle. And, I want to check you. And why are you going to do that? What are you going to do that? Why are you going to do it? Already walking up to somebody at a distance and saying, you're under arrest. You're under arrest.
Right.
They're going to kind of resist a little bit. They're going to be, well, what the fuck?
Right.
If you walk up and you say, hey man, do me a favor. And you grab the wrist and you grab the arm or whatever, the other officer, maybe flash a hand signal or something that you've kind of predetermined to the officer, or like, I used to do this before, or handcuff. And so go up, grab the guy, and both simultaneously grab him.
Right.
Then we might not have seen what we're about to see.
Z4,
Get away
foot pursuit.
Foot pursuit.
Grab him, get on the ground.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Get on, get your taser. Get your taser. No.
Z4, shots fired!
Did they go up?
Yeah.
Heart rate go up? 87? 87?
Yep, I'm at 87.
So we're going to watch a couple different views. It's like dash cam and then another officer's point of view.
Shots
As well.
fired! Get on the fucking ground! Get on the ground!
It's going to explain kind of what just occurred. There's your dash cam. I love dash cams. I don't see them enough. So, look, I'm never going to say female officers are useless. I hear that a lot. You've heard that a lot.
I've heard that.
And so I know that you have your opinions, and I certainly have mine. I've been in some great kind of uses of force with female officers that have been amazing. I've been in some that have been completely worthless. I've been in some with males that have been completely worthless. So what we see here is quite literally a circus, because they're kind of running all around. The actual winner of this entire kind of use of force is going to be the vehicle, because he's going to faceplant himself right into this police vehicle. And it was the most use of force out of any of them. It's okay to grab people. It's okay to punch people. It's okay to take people down. Boom. Look at that. The car did more.
Well, and that they let him get back to that car where they just put that gun.
Right. There it is right there. He just picked it up. So he's grabbed the firearm. And what we're going to see is another point of view, which is really interesting. And it took a few watches to catch it. So here's going to be another officer's point of view, and I'm going to pause it right at the moment where it happens. So we're going to go through what we've already seen. Grab him. Just tackle him. Do something.
Concrete cover. Get your teeth out! I'm laser!
All right. This officer that the body camera is shown from quite literally saved them. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
You have this officer that has the taser out, which I don't necessarily recommend. In this case, did we rise to the level of taser? Maybe. He's going towards the firearm. Can we use deadly force? Absolutely. But what happens is he gets hit with this taser and it locks him up. So he grabs the rifle, he turns the rifle towards them and locks up from the taser and can't use the rifle. You don't get to see it here. This is the end of the clip here, but he's locked up and he's unable to fire. And so the officers are able to retreat in different directions. One went this way, one went that way. One went back to the car, and then that officer fired and ultimately dropped this subject. Now he's going to kind of fall in the door of the vehicle. This context was taken out. This part of the clip was taken out. He's going to fall. They're going to move up and bring a shield and do all these different things and kind of get on top of him and then pull the rifle away from him. But I mean, man, this is kind of a wacky video that I just
4 shots fired! Shots fired!
Let's watch this view again. I mean, the guy's running. He's got a weapon. He's got drugs. I mean, I would spear him. I would just go for his legs. He's a big dude.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah. You're probably not going to take him on brute force. He's probably got you on brute force. And the two females, not to say anything about female officers, but they were short. I don't know how big this guy is, but they were small people.
Yeah.
And so you got two small people and one questionable, and going against this huge freaking big ass guy. And so I would definitely be looking for legs.
Z4, get away from pursuit.
Something. I'm off the radio. I'm not messing with anything. And right there is like the best opportunity because he's already down.
Right.
And, these two females could have just dove on top of him. 3 bodies on top of him may have been able to keep him down. May not have changed outcomes. Maybe it would have went for a firearm, one of their firearms or something like that. And it became an officer involved shooting anyway. Who knows? So anyway, clearly, as I said before, he wasn't supposed to be in possession of a firearm. Weird.
I mean,
do people get firearms that aren't supposed to have firearms?
It sometimes happens.
Sometimes. Sometimes sometimes I get a stomach ache. Felons in possession of firearms happens all the time. I
Mhm.
actually get stomach aches all the time, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so suspect was kind of handled with some lead and some rounds. Again, I think it said Officer Valdez on that body cam was quite literally saved everybody with
Yeah.
that taser shot. I don't recommend tasers versus firearms ever, but in this case, she hit him, and he locked up with that kind of firearm in his hand and wasn't able to pull the trigger. So pretty
Well,
amazing.
the fact that she got that taser out when she did, fired it when she did, and he lost his big sweatshirt he was wearing in the scuffle. Because if he had been wearing that, who knows, maybe the barbs would have stuck on the loose fabric and not penetrated. And then, I mean, there's just a lot of factors. I think the theme of this was kind of people getting lucky.
Yeah,
Cops getting lucky on all three of these.
yeah. Officers getting lucky and scene control. You
No,
know,
no, there was no scene control.
right. But what I'm saying is that is kind of the point is we want to emphasize, I want to emphasize in the podcast and the channel and different content, and I've talked about this before, is that you really got to take control of these people. You got to
Right.
take control of these scenes. You got to get aggressive. I've talked about it time and time again. I want my police to be aggressive. If I am screwing around, I want to find out. If someone else is screwing around, I want them to find out. I don't want sugarcoating. I don't want, oh, you're under arrest. Come with us. We'll get you McDonald's. I want you to take these people down. I want you to be aggressive. I want you to pit these cars instead of chasing them 10 miles and at 2 hours or whatever. I want you to pit it right into a tree and get these people, in custody. So,
Well, and I think a lot of cops are scared to go hands on. They don't want to end up in court getting sued for use of force. But I mean, it's better to be sued and be able to articulate why you did what you did than end up with people shot, end up with yourself shot. You can come back from, dogpiling somebody, especially if it's a known felon. You already have drug charges. You already know there's a weapon in the car, probably an illegal one. I think you're good all day. He already ran from you. He already looked like he slapped them at the
yeah, right at
beginning.
the start. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think you can justify that dog pile all day long. Um, just
Yeah.
don't be afraid to go hands on.
Yeah. I look, I didn't get into a whole lot of uses of force. I can talk tough all day long. I got in a ton of chases. I was like one of the top kind of chase people in the department for a while. I've done a lot. I've gotten into uses of force. I've gotten into some good ones. I've had one punch me in the eye, and I punched him, and he punched me, and I punched, and it was a crazy little battle in the driver's seat. I was on top of him, just drilling his face, and I probably wouldn't have punched him in the face had he not punched me in the face. And, I grabbed him. I tried to take him out. And he said, no. I said, he was a drunk driver. I pull him again. He goes, no, I'm not leaving. And he swung and punched me right in the eye. And at that point, all bets are off. When these guys are being threat to you or threat to other people, all bets are off. And I'm not saying go shoot them. I'm just saying all bets are off on aggression, on use of some sort of physical contact. You have to follow your policies and procedures. You can't
Absolutely.
you can't just start punching people because you want to or whatever.
No, but somebody that's already punched a cop, they will have no problem then, punching someone else or doing another crime. I mean, you punched a cop.
Right. And you got to utilize your policies and procedures. You may have steps you have to go. Okay, I got to try my voice. I've got to try, to grab them. I've got to go to OC. I've got to go to taser. I got to go to maybe that's your department. That's how it is. Whatever it is, do your thing. Do what you're legally, in terms of the state laws, the county, the city, whatever the laws are, and also your policies and procedures. Do what you're supposed to. But what I'm saying is when the opportunity presents itself and it's reasonable and appropriate, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use force. Don't be afraid to grab these guys. Don't be afraid to pit these cars. Don't be afraid to, like the Ramsey County last episode, just ram the shit out of them right into a freaking alleyway and pin them against a concrete wall. Don't be afraid to get a little aggressive. That's what I want to see. And so that's our episode.
We did it.
Is it different being in the episode versus watching it? 'Cause
Yes.
every episode I do, she gets to be the very first person that sees it. And so
Prime Patreon.
you are the prime Patreon. Matreon. You're a Matreon.
Ooh.
Our kids' mother. But yeah, so the episodes usually air the next Friday. She gets to see it on Thursday. She lets me know like kind of what her thoughts are and things like that. But yeah, so now you're in it.
I'm in it.
You're not in the spotlight like I am. I got these freaking lights shining in my eyes, and like I'm just, my eyes are burning by the end of all this stuff. But
You have to like shadow me, and I'll be like Unsolved Mysteries,
we
the
could
guy
do-
with the voice.
you do like a silhouette on a wall. It could be like Alfred Hitchcock,
Ooh,
just sideways.
I like that.
We could do that. We could probably do that. Yeah, we want to avoid, obviously, you know, and any other active people that we have come on the podcast. Definitely going to want to not show them as well, you know, not put them on screen and things like that, because they may be on patrol, but they may end up going and becoming a narcotics detective, and then they're undercover, and then they get spotted. Not to say I'm a big podcast, but some dick might see this somewhere and, you know, be like, oh, I remember you from that episode or whatever. So we're going to minimize that as much as we can. I think this went well. I think everything, I've got some learning to do with some new technologies, so that's exciting. We've got new mics. I actually went and got a second matching microphone. We've got this new mixer. The new mixer there's a lot going on. This is a professional deal. This is a big mixer that way better. This is the previous mixer. This little guy kind of looks like a DJ table, like a miniature DJ table. But that was the previous mixer, and now this one's like touch screen, and it's got all this stuff, and I don't know what half this stuff does. So we're gonna do some learning this week, so that next episode, hopefully, I've got everything squared away. We may or may not have guests on, you know, next week, but we'll see when we get to that point. And maybe we'll have other people, you know, popping in here in the future. I've got a couple contacts out right now of people that are interested in coming on. So we may be seeing and or hearing from those people. But yeah, so anything you want to add as a last note?
A final thought, if you will.
Final thought, if you will.
No, I like what you said. Don't be afraid. The job can be scary, but it's between you and the bad guy. Don't be afraid to go hands-on and control your screaming people running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Don't let it get to that point.
Right. Be aggressive, but don't be too aggressive. You end up getting criminal charges.
No, don't be out of policy aggressive. Be in policy aggressive.
Cool. All right. Well, that'll do it for us.
All right.
Fun?
You're so handsome.
Oh my God. I'm getting all red. All right. Well, anyway, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everybody listening and watching. And I hope we catch you on the next episode. Have a good one, guys. Remember, keep sending me the clips. I'll keep making these episodes and keep making these kind of shorts. See ya.